Today I'm going to be explaining to you the different types of consumption. Whenever we consume or buy certain good or service, we normally characterize these consumptions into four. First is what we call productive consumption, wherein this is characterized as buying goods or services to be used in producing another good. So example, if I wanted to make dairy products, I normally have to ensure that I buy the raw material, the basic raw material that would enable me to process these materials to form the dairy product that I wanted to have. So in this case, I'll buy milk. And in this case, milk is characterized as an intermediate good, wherein in economics, intermediate goods are normally characterized as the good or the service that is necessary to be processed to further produce another good. So these are normally the raw materials that you would need in order for you to create a new form of a good or service that will satisfy our needs and wants. The next type of consumption is what we call a wasteful consumption, wherein this is normally characterized as buying things that you do not really get satisfaction at all. So example, when you go to a leading bookstore, instead of just buying one pen, we ended up buying three or more pens. And when in a regular month, you normally get to use one pen only. And the rest of the pens would end up wasted because you're not going to be able to use it. Or sometimes these pens would malfunction. That's why they would end up being wasted. Third is what we call direct consumption. Wherein in direct consumption, we normally purchase something or buy something in order for you to satisfy that immediate need that you have. So example, if I'm hungry, in order for me to satisfy my hunger, I go to the canteen and buy food. So the food that I buy directly influences or directly will satisfy my hunger. So in that case, direct consumption. Last but definitely not the least is what we call harmful consumption, wherein this is characterized as buying goods or services that are normally entailed to endanger your health, one's health, and at the same time, the health of others. As an example, when we smoke and buy cigarettes, while it satisfies our craving for smoking, that ends up in the long run harming our health, our lungs, and at the same time harming other people because of secondhand smoking. Types of consumption are normally linked into different laws of consumption. And these laws are based on studies, economic studies, theories that have been proven correct in several times. The first law that I'd like to emphasize here would be the law of economic order, wherein in this case, basic needs are normally prioritized by people over their luxuries. So, basic behavior of people is that when they have money, the first thing that they will have to prioritize would be the basic needs that they would have before buying their wants. The second law of consumption is what we call the law of variety, wherein it states that goods and services are normally consumed in different ways. So, example, in this case, milk. Milk is not just limited to be used as food, but it can be used in different ways. So, in a certain good, you attain a certain level of satisfaction in varying ways because it depends on the kind of use that you're going to be using them. The last, but definitely not the least, among the laws would be the law of diminishing utility. As you buy a certain good or service, you attain a certain level of satisfaction, which is referred to in economics as utility. When you attain a certain level of utility, that certain utility would diminish as time and consumption continues. And when you purchase a certain good, a certain added satisfaction is being received which is referred to as the marginal utility. Say, for instance, if I buy a computer and that computer would entail me to do a lot of functions, say, make a video edit, or photo edit, so on, which is not typical of a usual computer. That's considered to be the marginal utility of that specific computer that I bought. If my computer, let's say, is slim and is functional, you can take it anywhere, it's not easily broken even if it falls, even if and it's really well protected, there's a lot of things that would enable me to compare it to other people or to other computers. That gives me total utility, more satisfaction compared to the usual one. Therefore, as you reach the total utility, you would reach a certain peak. And as you continue consuming or using that computer, in that case of my example, the level of utility or satisfaction that I get from this computer will diminish as I continue using it as time passes by. So today, I was able to discuss to you the laws explaining the behavior of people on consumption and the different types of consumption in economics. Thank you. Good afternoon.